Salut tout le monde! Welcome back to Unintentionally Frenchified, your favorite channel, I hope, for all content related to life in France as an expat. So this month is September, and it is actually the anniversary month of when I first arrived in France 12 years ago. So this month always makes me a bit nostalgic about when I first moved to France for what I thought was a very short adventure and what became a very long adventure, and just kind of my thoughts, my outlook, my experiences, everything around that time when I was really first experiencing France as a complete newbie. So today's video is going to be on that topic. It's going to be about what French people thought of me when I first arrived in France. And I actually asked 10 people, including my in-laws, about their thoughts about me, their first impressions, etc. when I had first arrived. I ranked what they said in a list of the top 6. So I basically only took things that multiple people said, and I'm gonna go down the list from what was the least popular of the popular ones all the way to the most popular, which at the end was actually something that was shared by all 10 people. Let me know in the comments what people first thought of you when you moved abroad, and of course how you've changed since then. And otherwise, if you're ready, let's go through the list. C'est parti! So the least popular one, but that was still shared between multiple people, didn't actually have to do with my personality, but more with my style. And this actually really surprised me because fashion isn't like, I wouldn't say a passion of mine. I mean, I like to feel good. I think most people want to feel good in what they wear. And I definitely enjoy like shopping, but it's not like my thing. It's like my sister's-in-law, like it's her thing. It's not my thing. And so I didn't really think that anybody would have remembered or remarked or noted something specific about my style when I first arrived, and they did. Multiple people said when I first arrived in France that I actually dressed up more than the average French, that I wore lots of skirts, that I wore lots of dresses, that I had lots of heels, and that I was pretty preppy. And I thought that was funny because the American stereotype is that we dress down a lot, that we go out in our pajamas, that we wear like sports clothes around, which is like lounge clothes everywhere, which is completely true. But I had read before I left for France that everybody dressed up. And 12 years ago, there wasn't exactly all like the YouTube resources and lots of things of people telling you what to expect when you move. And so I took like really dress up as like really dress up. So it's true that I came over with a lot of like my nicer clothes than I did with my more casual clothes, and I tended to be a preppy dresser when I was dressing up, so that's not surprising to me to hear. But like the fact that I was more dressed up than the average friend is just funny because now like my style has changed so much. I would probably like call myself a casual mom or something if I had to describe how I looked, and I'm absolutely not wearing like bold colors, and they said like neon colors, but multiple people said like really bold patterns as well. And it's true that I don't really do that anymore, and I think it's totally normal. Your style evolves as, you know, as you get older and as you change. So not all of that is linked to France, but I do kind of miss the colors. And I say all the time that I need to bring more colors back in. I'm wearing a white t-shirt as I say that, but I'm gonna remember that one. So while I'm not much of a fashionista, okay, I do love jewelry. I always have, always will. 12 years in France is not gonna change that. And I've been partnering for the last like year and a half, I think, with a jewelry company called Ana Luisa. And I love their jewelry. I love their price point, but I also really love how sustainable first they are. They're very much into sustainability. They are a water and carbon neutral company, and they focus a lot on making sure that everything they do is sustainable from the very first part of the supply chain all the way till the end of it. And what's really cool is that it also does not whatsoever impact the quality of their jewelry. I do so much in this jewelry. I run, I work out, I sleep, I shower. You probably shouldn't do that with jewelry, but I do. I mean, I do everything, okay? I never take it off, and the quality is perfect. So I'm wearing a couple of their pieces right now that I want to show you guys. First thing I'm doing, I'm gonna get really up close here with you guys. First thing I have on here is this little letter necklace. Totally love this. It's 14 karat gold with recycled sterling like silver. So it comes off as like a gold color, a very small, like show you side dainty, like every basic parent, it's an E for Eleanor because I'm obsessed with my daughter. But I love this one. It's very light. You don't feel it at all. Like I said, I sleep with it. I really love it. Everything on my ears, honestly, here is Ana Luisa. So I got this bracelet. So this one's called the Now Opal. And it's really just like the other one. It's thin, it's sterling silver, it's plated with 14 karat gold. It's got this synthetic opal right here in white. This necklace is $65 right now. And actually the bracelet is on sale, what's really great about Ana Luisa is they don't overstock things. So they're not gonna make a ton of every piece. And so great for the environment, but what that also means is that the pieces don't last for very long. And so this bracelet, I think, must almost be out. So if you really like the bracelet, I would go get it now. And just in general, it's great because there's lots of new things and new pieces. Every time you go to their website, you discover something different. And then at the same time, when you really want something, you kind of need to jump on it because it's not sure to last. I put everything in the YouTube description below. I've got a personalized link, so really go check it out. Use the personalized link. It comes with a discount code as well, so use that link and happy shopping. Okay, so the next most popular shared thought was a pretty negative one, which is, I told them not to hold back, but which was that I was naive. And yes, I mean, it's true, so it's normal, but they kind of had this impression, especially the people that I worked with, that I didn't really have a lot of life experience and that I just had this very positive outlook, but like too positive. And it's true that when I look back, I came from the Midwest of the United States and not that big of a town. I kind of had this very positive outlook on life. I felt like as hard as you worked, you got back what you put into it, that, things should always be fair, that everything could be fixed with some kindness and some empathy. And in some ways, definitely having lived here for so long, that's changed. Being in Paris has changed things a bit, living in a big city. I also just think life experience, right, has changed things. I'm no longer in my early 20s. I'm gonna be 35 in March. So life experience has changed that a bit. But I also still think I stayed quite true to who I am. I do think a lot can be fixed with empathy. I do think being kind goes a long way. But at the same time, I'm very aware that life is not fair, that I don't know, I have been privileged, that what I put in, I put in a lot of hard work, it's not always gonna get back what I put in, and that just is what it is. And so I do think, some things have changed and some things, France just can't get out of me. All right, so the next one actually got 5 out of 10 people that made a comment that was around this topic. And it was all the women, which maybe doesn't surprise me because it was actually around how confident I came across about my body, which is funny because if you watch most of my videos, you might have seen recently, I had a video come out all about gaining and losing weight in France. And I really talked in this video, I won't go into details, you'll have to watch it, but I talked in this video about how much France has had a very negative impact on the way that I view myself, and how when I first came here, I was a very fit, woman, and how being in Paris specifically, not necessarily France, you see just a lot of the more like thin, wafy women, and that's really what's idealized here as beauty, and how I started like kind of becoming more self-conscious. And it was really like such a great reminder to hear people saying like, when you first got here, you liked to wear short skirts, you showed off your cleavage all the time. That was a good one because we do show off our cleavage in the US, but you ran around in a bathing suit, you were just so comfortable and you were just not really, talking about yourself in such a negative way. And it's a good wake-up call because it's not something that I'm really good about anymore, and that I think I've changed in maybe not so much of a positive way. So I'll keep it in mind, but that was a good one. Next one was like 6 or 7. I wrote down out of 10 people talked about this. And this was about the fact that I always avoided debates, didn't like them, didn't like conflict, or got really worked up during debates. And it's so true, you guys. The French debate, it's like an artwork. They manage to share their opinion, on subjects that are really important to them, but share their opinion, go back and forth, have this verbal, not fight, that's not the right word, but this verbal back and forth, very witty, very fast, tennis match of some sorts, and at the end they just, you know, share a drink and finish their night. And I'm just like the opposite. I get like really worked up, I get exasperated, I get frustrated, and so I just don't really love debating so much. And in general, even when we're not talking about a debate, I don't love conflict and I tend to avoid it. And I don't think, you know, that that's something that's changed actually about friends. I still don't like debating. I still don't love conflict. You know, I do it when I have to, of course, but it's like not something I enjoy. And you know, I guess I'm not really that surprised that this one came up. Tell me how you do it, France. I don't know that I'm ever gonna catch on to this one. Okay, so this is the second most popular one, so we're almost to the most popular one. And this one was basically all around the topic of how shy and insecure I was when I first came to France about speaking French, which is like, oh my gosh, can you imagine? I now do videos that I stick on YouTube for anyone who wants to see out there to watch, where I speak French and I really embrace my French and what I've been able to accomplish with it. But I was not that way at all at the beginning. I mean, baby Kate, when I first moved over here, I was so uncomfortable. I felt so awkward at parties. I was very self-conscious about my accent. It was such a journey, and I have no problem, like lots of pats on the back to have gotten so far. I mean, it's been 12 years now, but still to have gotten to a point where I really embrace, you know, even the flaws, but I embrace the fact that I can speak French now, that I'm bilingual, that you know, I've made it. Like, it's such a great accomplishment. And even, you know, when I do videos in French, there are so many haters, like just really ripping into my accent and how I speak French and how, you know, and I just like, that is like water off my back. I could care less. I'm like, I killed it when I came. You know, I came here and I learned another language. And I'm just super proud of that. And that has been a very big change for me, and one that I think is incredibly positive. All right, if you've made it this far, you've come to the last one, the most popular one. I don't think you're in suspense because you probably know. The most popular one that 10 out of 10 people talked about was my positivity, energy, the smiley, the friendliness. I think, you know, that's definitely me. And I think that probably also comes a lot with the different cultures and being American. And it's funny because I really feel like it's toned down so much over the last 12 years. And at the same time, you know, as Frenchified as I've become, there's just certain things about people's personality or way of being that doesn't matter how long they spend somewhere else, you just can't take it out of them. I still think I'm, compared to the average French person, even if Paris has really given me a bit of stranger danger and a bit more of a, you know, more, I wouldn't say cold way of doing things, but I would just say not giving so much away on my face. I still am way friendlier, I'm sure, to strangers than the average French. And I still have quite a bit of that pep and energy that I had when I came 12 years ago. And it's probably a good balance I found now. I think that one's okay. All right, guys, that is a wrap. Thanks for being here. The 12-year video, what people first thought of me when I got to France. Let me know in the comments, as I said, about, you know, what people thought of you when you first arrived, if it's France or another country, how much you've changed. Don't forget about Ana Luisa, of course. I put the personalized link in the YouTube description. Go do some shopping, go check it out. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be back next week for more content, and I will see you soon. À la semaine prochaine. Bisous.